People always say, don't mix friendship with business. But I didn't listen. I trusted him. I trusted him with my idea, my time, even my heart. And just when the money came in, he locked me out. He wiped my name, deleted everything that showed I helped build it, told everyone I was just an assistant. But what he didn't know, I left something in the code, something only I knew how to use. And that's how I got everything back. But before I tell you how, let me take you to the beginning. Please, stay with me, and to take out your precious time to like, subscribe, and share this story. God bless you as you do so. This isn't just a story about business. It's a story about betrayal and a girl who refused to stay silent. My name is Tolu Martins. I'm 28 years old, and I'm a Nigerian woman in tech. Not many of us, especially where I'm from, but I loved computers since I was small. My older brother had an old laptop. I used to sneak into his room and play with it when he wasn't looking. At first, I just pressed buttons. But one day, I opened something that looked like a black box. It had green letters blinking. It was code. I didn't know it then, but it changed my life. Later, I learned how to write my own code, HTML, CSS, then JavaScript. By the time I was 16, I was already building websites for people in the neighborhood. By 18, I had a blog that taught girls how to learn tech for free. I studied software engineering in school, first in Lagos, then online classes from abroad. I didn't come from money, but I had drive. And one big dream. I wanted to create something that would help people with their mental health. Where I grew up, people don't talk about feelings. They say, pray it away. Or, stop crying. Are you the first to suffer? But I had friends who needed help. I needed help sometimes too. So I started building an app. Just a simple thing at first. A little chatbot that said kind things. A space to write what you're feeling. Nothing fancy. But people liked it. Even my cousin who didn't care about tech said, Tolu, this thing dey worko. But building alone was hard. I needed help with marketing, with raising money. That's when Chris came into the picture. I met Chris at a tech boot camp. He was tall, always smiling, and full of big ideas. He said, Tolu, your brain is gold, but if nobody sees the gold, what's the use? I laughed, but he was right. He was good with people. He knew investors. He had LinkedIn followers. He could talk for hours without saying, once. We became close, very close. He said we should build the app together. He said, we'll be co-founders, equal partners. I agreed. We named the app MindJoy. He designed the logo. I wrote the code. I worked night and day. No sleep. No parties. I wrote every line of code. I created the backend, the database, the security. Chris handled social media, did the pitch decks. He brought in users, told the story well. We were a team. At least I thought we were. People started to notice us. Blogs wrote about MindJoy. We love this simple mental wellness app from 2 Nigerian founders. But behind the scenes, Chris started acting different. He stopped replying to our group chat on time. He changed passwords without telling me. He started saying I more than we in interviews. I asked him, Chris, what's going on? He smiled. Nothing, just busy. I let it go. I didn't want to be the difficult partner. One morning, I woke up to a voice note from Chris. Check your email. We got 500 in funding. I screamed. We finally did it. He said we had to move fast. We need to set up a company account, file the paperwork, start hiring. I trusted him to handle it. He said he'd put both our names. He said, I've done this before. Let me lead. I said, okay. Again, I trusted him. 3 days later, I tried to log into our app's admin panel. Access denied. I thought it was a glitch. I tried again. Same thing. I messaged Chris. No reply. I called him. Number switched off. I opened Instagram. He had just posted a video. Standing in an office, smiling with a laptop. Caption said, "Meet the sole founder of MindJoy, building tech that heals." I froze. Sole founder? Where was my name? Where was my photo? I clicked the company website. Same thing. No mention of me. All my work, gone. At first, I cried. A lot. Then I got angry. I paced around my room for hours. I kept thinking, how could he do this? We were partners. I built that app. From scratch. Then something hit me. I remembered something important. The code, the original code, was still on my local server, on my laptop, and I left something inside. I had created something during development, a digital signature. It was hidden deep inside the backend, a line of code that stamped each feature with my name, time, and location. Chris didn't know. He didn't write the code. He just watched me do it. But that digital signature, it was a legal fingerprint. If I could get proof, I could show that built MindJoy. I called my old professor from uni, Uncle Deo. He used to say, always keep your receipts, in life and in code. I told him everything. He said, bring your laptop, don't touch anything. I did. He helped me pull out the digital signature log. It had everything. The commits, the timestamps, the IP addresses. It showed Chris hadn't written a single line. I had two choices. One, I could stay quiet and start a new app. Or, two, I could fight. Not just for me, but for every girl who's ever been told to stay silent. I chose to fight. Make no mistake, I will continue exactly from where I stopped. We're now moving into the next chapter. I took the proof to my lawyer, Mr. Ikenna. He wore thick glasses and always had a serious face. He looked at the screen and said quietly, This is gold, my dear." I was shaking. My hands were cold. He said, "You built this, and now we have to prove it in front of the world." But first, we had to act fast. Because Chris had already gone far. A week later, Chris was on TV. Not local TV, big national channels. He was called the future of African tech. He was even shaking hands with one big politician. My heart broke again. He was wearing a suit I helped him buy, saying words I wrote, calling MindJoy his baby. I turned off the TV and cried on the floor. But I didn't stay down. I opened my old laptop. There was one more thing I remembered. A backdoor I left inside the code. Not for cheating, for safety. In case hackers attacked the app, I could shut it down. Chris didn't know it was there. I clicked on the secret tool. It asked for my developer key. I typed it. Click. I was in. I could now see all the users, all the updates, all the bugs. Chris was using my code, but breaking it. He had removed some safety rules. He didn't know what they did. The app was now full of problems. People were complaining on Twitter, MindJoy doesn't save my journal anymore. Why is my data missing? Did they fire the developer? I laughed, just a little, because I knew what was coming. My phone rang. Unknown number. I picked. Hello? Please, is this Tolu? I froze. Yes. Who's this? My name is Ada. I'm a reporter with Tech Focus Africa. I heard something, and I need your help. My voice shook. What did you hear? She said, Chris told everyone he built MindJoy, but we found your name buried in the old source files. My breath caught. Please, she said, I want to hear your side. We met in a small cafe in Surulere. I wore a long gown and covered my face with a cap. I told her everything. How I built the app, how Chris promised we'd be partners, how he shut me out when the money came. I showed her my receipts, emails, code logs, screenshots. She asked just one question at the end. If I publish this, are you ready for the fire? I nodded. Let it burn. 2 days later, my phone didn't stop ringing. Headline: The Real Mind Behind Minjoy. My name was everywhere. Tolu Martin's female developer erased by greedy partner. They used the photo from my LinkedIn. Chris tried to deny it at first. It's a lie. She only helped me fix bugs. But people didn't believe him. Because I didn't just say, I built the app. I showed the proof. I posted a video. It was simple. Just my laptop screen. Me clicking through the code. Me opening the logs. Me showing the date and time of the first commit. My voice was quiet, but clear. This is not about fame. This is not about money. This is about truth. I built this. And in the comments? Thousands of women. We believe you, sis. How many times will they steal from us and pretend we're invisible? This is why we keep receipts. It didn't take long. Investors started pulling out, one by one. The board removed Chris from the CEO post. They put the app on pause. Some wanted to buy it. Others wanted to delete it. But I had another plan. You see, while Chris was shining on TV, he forgot something. He forgot to renew the copyright on the back-end engine. He thought the app belonged to Mindjoy Inc. But the engine, the real brain of the app, was still licensed in my name. I created it before we became partners. My lawyer smiled when he saw the papers. Ha, see this, Mumu. He forgot the engine belongs to you. We took Chris to court. He tried to lie. He cried. He said, she's bitter because we broke up. The judge raised her hand. Please, Mr. Chris, this court is not a gossip table. In the end, my proof was too strong. Emails, videos, the copyright, even his own voice in old chats. Tolu, you're the genius behind all this. He lost the case. The court ordered Chris to give me full credit, pay damages, remove my code from anything he builds in the future. And guess what? The investors came back. Not for him, for me. I didn't restart Mindjoy. No, I built something new, better. I called it Safe Space. And this time, I owned it alone. I hired 3 young female coders. I trained them. I told them, don't just write code, own your code. I opened free workshops for girls who wanted to learn tech. One night, I sat alone on my new office balcony. Cool air. Lagos lights in the distance. My phone buzzed. It was a message from an old friend. Just 4 words. You did it, Tolu. I smiled. Because yes, I did. Not just for me, but for every girl who's ever been pushed out of her own dream. 2 weeks after the court case, Chris sent me a message. Tolu, please, let's talk. I made a mistake. I didn't reply. He called 3 times. I didn't pick. He even came to my office once. Security didn't let him pass the gate. One of the guards later told me, Auntie Tolu, the man just dey sweat. Him shoe sef never polish well. He dey beg anyhow. I smiled. Not because I was happy he was down, but because I finally felt peace. I wasn't done. Chris still had interviews online. Still had articles with his name all over my work. I made a list. All the platforms he used to promote the fake story. And one by one, I sent them the real documents. Code proofs, court judgments, voice notes. Some of them replied. Some removed the old posts. One even did a full story. The woman behind the app, how Tolu Martins reclaimed her work. It went viral. Even CNN Africa reposted it. Chris vanished after that. I went to visit my mum in Ibadan. She opened the door and hugged me tight. "My daughter, see how you fresh now." She made jollof rice and pepperfish. We ate on the veranda. She touched my hand and said, "Tolu, you did well. You didn't fight with shouting. You used your head." I smiled. I needed to hear that. Because sometimes the pain still stung. But healing was happening. Slowly. When I got back to Lagos, Safe Space was growing fast. We had 0 new users. And messages were pouring in. Girls from all over Africa. Some said, "I saw your story. It made me believe I can code too." Others said, "They also cheated me, but I want to fight back now." I started a free online class. I called it Code Courage. Our first class had 40 girls, then 200, then 10. One girl from Kenya sent me this message. They used to laugh at me, said girls don't do tech, but after seeing you, I don't care anymore. I cried when I read it. Not sad tears, but proud ones. One day, I was invited to speak on a radio show. The host was a woman called Zara. She said, "Tolu, welcome. We all followed your story. But tell us, how did you stay calm?" I took a deep breath and said, "Because if I shouted, they'd say I was angry. If I cried, they'd say I was weak. So I stayed quiet and let the truth speak louder." Zara nodded. "What would you say to women listening now, those who've been cheated or erased?" I looked at the mic, like I was looking into the eyes of every woman out there. And I said, "Build, keep building, but hide a copy of the truth in your code, in your heart, in your hands. So when they try to erase you, you still have proof." One quiet Friday evening, a brown envelope arrived at my gate. There was no name on it, just for Tolu. Inside was a letter. The handwriting, I knew it. "Chris," he wrote, "I didn't know you'd fight back. I thought you'd just cry and move on. But you showed me that smart doesn't mean silent. You won. I hope you forgive me one day." I read the letter twice. Then I picked it up, shredded it into tiny pieces, and poured the bits into my flower pot. Let it grow into something better. That night, I sat alone in my office. The fan was turning slowly. I was sipping Zobo and watching the city lights blink outside. I thought about everything. The betrayal, the pain, the fight, the win, and the girls now walking behind me on the same path. I didn't lose. I grew. Chris didn't just steal code. He taught me something. That I am stronger than I thought. That trust should be earned, not given too fast. That sometimes, when someone breaks you, they actually open the door for a better version of you to rise. To anyone listening, maybe they cheated you. Maybe they erased your name. Maybe they left you with nothing but pain. But please hear me now. You're not useless. You're not weak. You're not stupid. Sometimes smart people get tricked too. Sometimes kind people get hurt. But you can still fight. You can still win. Not with noise, but with truth, with proof, with patience, and with courage. So build again, rise again, shine again. And this time, hold the key to your own vault. Don't let them lock you out of your own future. Please share this story, and don't forget to subscribe. Thank you, and stay blessed.